Dude, if you just looked at him and didn't know what position he played, I mean, I would think
linebacker.
Like, he is yoked.
Like DK Metcalf.
Yes, very similar.
Yeah.
You know, I thought you was gonna say D Gun.
He's like D Gun. He looks like D Gun. Yes.
Now D Gun built like a Weeble Wobble.
All right, so a couple things coming out of the OTAs, and like I said, you know, Eagles players meeting, you know, with the media or whatever. Some of the pictures of you know, in the video as well of AJ Brown. Dude, if you just looked at him and didn't know what position he played, I mean, I would think
linebacker.
Like, he is yoked.
Like DK Metcalf.
Yes, very similar.
Yeah.
You know, I thought you was gonna say D Gun.
He's like D Gun. He looks like D Gun. Yes.
Now D Gun built like a Weeble Wobble.
But I'm telling you, man, he is torn up,
bro.
He's going to be woof. And he had an interesting line. He said about DeVonta Smith. He said, "Look, I'm going to get all the number ones, which means he's going to have a monster year." He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Bro, can you imagine being?
Go ahead, Bear.
Can you imagine being a corner, looking across at AJ Brown?
No. And he catches some little 5-yard out, and
right?
You have to come up and support in the run game. Whoa!
You got to make a business decision, and as we know, cornerbacks in the NFL, most of them stink at tackling.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy though. I mean, he and DeVonta are polar. Look, DeVonta's a wiry guy, right? I mean, there's not an ounce of fat on him.
165 pounds.
But, right. I mean, you would never think those two play the same position.
Right.
Okay? You know what I mean? No. Just looking at them. It's crazy. So Brandon Graham also mentioned it feels like nothing ever happened as far as the Achilles. He's got the same kind of range, same kind of athleticism. You know, said he's felt really good for a really long time. He feels great. I found it interesting when we had him on and we asked him about it. He said that the tougher injury for him was when he blew the knee out.
Yeah.
And most people say Achilles is the worst.
Absolutely.
That's not where Brandon's at this point.
You know what? Nobody knows your body like yourself, you know. And I know a lot of players, you know, it's amazing. You know, we always talk about an ACL tear taking 7, 8, 9 months to fully heal before you're ready to go. And what was that DN in Baltimore came back in like 6 months?
Suggs.
Terrell Suggs,
yeah.
Came back in 6 months. Now he said he started the regular season, and he said he didn't really feel like himself until like a month or two into the season. But the fact that dude came back in 6 months to play after an ACL tear is phenomenal in itself. But you know, if anybody, and Brandon Graham is as honest as the day is long.
Mm-hmm.
If he says he's ready to go, he's ready to go. I'm just crossing my fingers that it doesn't blow out again, because like I said, he's 34 now.
It's not that one. It's the other one. That's what happens. Everybody rehabs the one, and it becomes stronger than the one on the other side, and you start leaning on that.
Favored. Yep.
And then all of a sudden, bam, the other one. So
yeah, keep your fingers crossed.
He'll be ready.
I just love that they're back to being able to throw like a real rotation along that defensive line, like they did, like they had in 17. You know, you think about your defensive tackles, depending on what alignment they're playing. I understand that, but you know, Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave, Milton Williams, and Jordan Davis inside. Yep. You know, and then you go outside, and I'll throw Hassan Reddick. I know he's in sort of that hybrid mode, but you have Hassan Reddick, you have Brandon Graham, you have Josh Sweat, you still have Barnett there, where you're not counting on him for as much. I'm not
except for penalties.
Oh God, believe me, I'm not a Derek Barnett. I loved him coming out of Tennessee, but I've turned. But they have a lot of weapons they can throw at you, a lot of ammunition to be able to throw at you here along that defensive line to keep these guys fresh, which has got to mean something in terms of getting to the quarterback.
Well, I mean, conceptually, defensively, the number of ways in which they could take advantage of matchups now is crazy. You know, if you got a team that you know, they have a team now that you can run the bear front, you know, The bare front is when you cover the center and both guards with defensive linemen. So now you have Davis in the middle of that, Hargraves and Cox on the 2 guards. Then on the outsides, you got any number of combinations. You can put Brandon Graham out on the outside, and then on the other side you can put Hassan Reddick, or you can flip it up. You can have both of the Johnson their linebacker / defensive ends on the outside, Patrick Johnson, and then what's his name, Kayvon Johnson. On the outside. Now you have on passing downs. Now you have those 2 guys that can cover if they try to leak a running back or something. Instead of blitzing, they can leak off and cover a back man-to-man or a tight end man-to-man. Or they got so many different ways in which they can use that. The lineup of the talent that they have, man. It's going to be tough for teams to really get a beat on what they're trying to do. If Gannon gets it together.
Puts him in the right position to succeed.
Right. Yep. There you go. That's a big if.
Think about the mysteries, right? The mysteries of I think a lot of us are still on the fence whether or not Jalen Hurts is the guy. That certainly would be rank 1. I would say after that, it's got to be Jonathan Gannon, right? Now that he has weapons, what he really is, right? What he really is, I think would be number 2 in that list.
And then Steichen number 3.
Steichen's number 3 because he was so overlooked that first year because everything offensively we look at Sirianni. Like we give tons of love to Jeff Stoutland, as we should.
Yep.
But we hyper focus, on Sirianni, and Steichen just sort of gets unnoticed. He's pushed off to the side. So yeah, now that he's calling plays, Barrett, the coordinator, it just got turned up a lot on the coordinators.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yes.
They got to make their money now. They got to make their money.
Yeah.
And by the way, special teams took a step back last year. We're not used to that.
Yeah.
We're not used to that at all. I mean, Phip used to have us going.
Yeah. Think about it. Other than Elliott, who was really good, Sippo's stunk, and he got worse as the year went on.
Right, he did.
And they had very little return game. I mean, I know kickoffs are almost obsolete because everything's a touchback at this point, but their punt return game was terrible. Part of that was they were force feeding Jalen Reagor. But special teams have to be better next year.
Absolutely have to be better, man. They used to be a weapon. I mean, how many times did everybody else flip the field on us because of special teams and us not, being in the right place at the right time, making the right, plays? I mean, you can change the tide on how the game is being played, but special teams and people, we don't even use it as a weapon anymore. It used to be a weapon.
Yeah.
Yep.
I used to enjoy seeing Dave Fipp bring his guys out there. It was exciting, but then we had guys, that can go out there and make plays. I mean, you put you put anybody back. You can't just put anybody back there. And we were rolling Greg Ward out there.
Right.
So
all you really wanted at that point was ball security.
Right. Exactly.
It was returned by committee.
Right. I mean, we didn't have. Remember when we had Sproles back there?
Oh yeah. You don't have a legitimate punt returner on this
Brian
team.
Mitchell back in the day. Yeah.
Brian, I played with B. Mitch when he was with the Eagles. Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, they used to be a weapon. It's not a weapon anymore.
It's a problem.
I need to see so much stuff from the aspect of how these coaches are going to now use all this talent they brought into the room.
I wonder, if it's not Reagor, which I don't think it's going to be, but if it's not, I guess Gainwell.
No,
I
as a returner,
I'm just trying to think of who it would be.
See, Gainwell. See, they had him on kickoff return, but he has no speed. He has no breakaway speed. When you look at the teams that have better returners, man, they got guys that can flat out that make you hold your breath when they get the ball.
Right.
The Eagles didn't have anybody like that in their return game.
Well,
all the different guys they use.
They actually do.
Who?
The running back. I'm going on and looking up now.
Boston Scott?
No. The kid from Detroit. That came from Detroit.
What's his name? Davis? No.
Huntley?
No. Yes, Jason Huntley.
Huntley?
On kickoff, Jason Huntley is a threat.
Huh.
We just didn't use him because he wasn't on the active roster because we had 3 backs that were on the active roster already.
Barrett, you're still in that have an issue, aren't you? I mean, you're gonna have Miles, you're gonna have Gainwell
and Scott.
You're gonna have Boston Scott. I mean, if they don't bring Jordan Howard back, then he could make the team. He could. It's possible.
from the receiver position, they did have the you know, and I know the stream loves him, Britton Covey.
Oh, the kid out of Utah that they drafted, who was a really good return man. He's a small dude though.
Yeah, free agent, and plus, like I said, when you're that guy and you got the ugliest number on the team, 41, it's not boding well for you. That means a lot. That means a lot for you, you know, when you're, you know, because they usually, if they're thinking you're going to make the team, they're going to give you a number so you don't have to switch it later on. You know what I'm saying? You don't get a guy 41.
Jordan Davis has said that he slimmed down since getting drafted by the Eagles. He's keeping himself in real good shape.
What does that mean, though? Did he lose?
I know. Well, that's the question.
345 to 340.
I got to say, he does look a little bit smaller. Smaller. Small is the wrong word. He looks a little bit more streamlined. He'll never look small. He looks a little more streamlined than he looked when they drafted him. So that's a good sign, right? I mean, considering where we're at right now, this early,
he's going in the right direction. You got to get the kid down to 330. You got to get him down to 330. I think.
I think 330 is a good number.
Yeah, 340. No, because then you start talking about stamina issues, quickness off the ball. You got to get that kid down to 330 and control it at 330.
Like I said,
can't let his weight fluctuate.
They got to get him looking at Bruce Smith. Bruce Smith, when he first left Virginia Tech, he was right around 320.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody brought him in and said, look, man, you got to get down. I think one Tally brought him over and said, hey, you got to get down, man. They said for the rest of that year, he would get on the elliptical and be on the elliptical for an hour to 2 hours every day.
Wow.
And he dropped weight, got down. His optimal playing weight was 278. Like his number was 78. He got down to 278 and he became a monster after that. Monster.
Yeah, look, it's definitely part of this now, and it's part of being a pro for him is just that staying disciplined. I think his mom's going to live with him, which I guess will help. You know, maybe she'll keep an eye on him too. He won't.
That seems like the thing now. You know,
better than having his mom on the field holding an umbrella over him.
You're just not gonna let that go, man.
Nope.
I have never seen it in all the years I've covered football. I have never ever seen that in my life.
It was strange, man.
When it happened though, me and Derek were the ones
right there
interviewing him, and he was interviewing him, and she came up and I looked at Derek, and you know Derek can't hold his face. He don't hold emotions from his face.
Nope.
And he was like, "What? Dog, we trying to interview the dude." So I started the interview off because his face was just so tore up that he, you know,
that was a sign of things to come, man.
And you know, and then his you know, he saw that and looked at Derek, and he was like, "Oh man, you know, he can't tell mom to go somewhere." You know, it's like, oh.
Nah, we're not on Stanford's campus anymore. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I understand. You know, his mom's. You know, my mom's like this. My mom's like that with me. You know what I'm saying? But not to that.
But that's also one where you're a kid and like your mom wants to walk you all the way to school. You're like, I got it.
Right.
Like, I'm good. I can't have the guy see this. And you can't have your mom out there like, let me get the umbrella.
You're a grown man playing a professional sport. You can't have your mom out there holding an umbrella over you, man.
That's a bad one.
Man, I understand, man. But just like, you know, I mean, it seems like more guys are doing that. More guys are having their mother or some, you know, have their parents help them out a lot more than they did when I was in the league. You know what I mean? It's different now. I mean, look at Ben Simmons. You know what I'm saying? His brother and his sisters stayed with him. Michael Parsons, his mom lives with him.
Really?
Yeah. His mom lives with him.
So you can get those home cooked meals.
Right.
And odds are you're probably not going as crazy at your place if mom is there. Right, than you would if you were just left to your own, you know, devices. So that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. That's for sure. All right, we'll come back. We're going to hit a couple different things. We're going to do a little open talk, jump around a little bit. We'll keep discussing some of the things that are being said at the OTAs here from an Eagles standpoint. But I need your numero uno in terms of your go-to donut since it's National Donut Day. That is one of the things that we will tackle in addition to all the other stuff that we've been talking about. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis, Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network.